Welcome to Coffee with Job for the last one of this week, Friday. Again, the news here from Australia in lockdown is not good, and it is all pretty depressing. I mean, how do you cope when you're depressed? Well, some of us, we try this stuff, chocolate. I love Lindt chocolate. Others try other things, but I think what's really important is rest. And so we come to chapter 3, verse 20, where Job says this: "Why is light given to those in misery and life to the bitter of soul? To those who long for death it does not come, who search for it more than for hidden treasure, who are filled with gladness and rejoice when they reach the grave. Why is life given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For sighing has become my daily food. My groans pour out like water. What I feared has come upon me. What I dreaded has happened to me. I have no peace, no quietness. I have no rest, but only turmoil." I have no rest, but only turmoil. When you can't sleep, that deeply affects and changes your perspective on so many things. So right now, this is what we get woken up to in the morning. Yeah, that's our birds. Oh, and they just, I thank the Lord for earplugs. Why can I not get rest? You know, in that wonderful movie, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Ralph Stanley sings in this incredibly morbid song, "Death, oh death, won't you spare me over till another year?" Job doesn't want that. He says, "Now take away my life. Take away my life." Jonah chapter 4, verse 3, "Now, O Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live." Well, Job is now worn out, isn't he? Although he doesn't curse God, he's close to the edge. C.S. Lewis, in the problem of pain, and then he did a grief observed, he said this after losing his wife: "Not that I am in much danger of ceasing to believe in God. The real danger is of coming to believe in such dreadful things about him. The conclusion I dread is not, so there's no God after all, but so this is what God really is like. Deceive yourself no longer." He's tired of living. Again, like Elijah. Are you noticing this theme? For those who say, "Oh, well, Christians would never feel like this," are you noticing this theme in the Bible? Elijah, 1 Kings 19:4, he came to a broom tree, sat down under it and prayed that he might die. "I have had enough, Lord," he said. "Take my life. I am no better than my ancestors." Then he lay down under the tree and fell asleep. Now, you may not be at that level of despair. You may be, and if you are, I encourage you to seek help. But you can identify with some of it. You're just tired. "I'm so tired. I haven't slept a wink. I'm so tired. My mind is on the blink," as the Beatles sang. "I cannot relax. I cannot settle. I cannot rest. I'm so tired that I cannot sleep." What do you say to a person in such a situation? Get a grip is definitely not the answer. Like telling a man with a broken leg, get up and run around the room. How do we get rid of the blues? How do we get back? Well, let me just suggest some things. This is a lament. For believers, this present life and suffering go together. We're not going to get rid of that. But as Romans 8 says, and we'll go to Romans 8 on Sunday, by the way, if you're joining in with the Romans Road to Hope thing. And that's looking at how we're groaning right now, but because there's something better coming. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. Coleridge once said that Christians believe not in God, but only in their beliefs about him. Great suffering puts an end to those beliefs and causes us to rely upon God. James Phillip puts it this way: "Peace is not the same as absence of conflict. Faith is not just the acceptance of certain platitudes about God. Make sure you really believe in God and not just in your own ideas about God. Now, does God feel pain and grief? Well, there's a very important doctrine of the impassibility of God. And what we mean by that is not that God does not feel, but that God is not subject to change. Now, that's a great mystery. But Jesus was, and that's the important thing. Jesus feel pain and grief? Well, absolutely. My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow, he said to Peter, James, and John, to the point of death. Jesus was like Elijah and Job. To the point of death, sorrow to the point of death. That's what that means. And he prayed, Father, take this from me. But even if that's not possible. And there are parallels with Job. My God, why have you forsaken me? It's interesting. There's a story told of Roosevelt and President Roosevelt and a missionary couple returning on a boat. There was a great welcome there for President Roosevelt, and there was no one there to welcome the missionary. They thought, Lord, surely there should have been someone to welcome us home. And the answer they got, you're not home yet. You're not home yet. Jesus comes that we might have light and life and new birth. I'll just leave you with these verses. John 1:4, in him was life, and that life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. That's our great hope. We're longing for rest. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. And then this beautiful verse, when you're not at peace, when you're not at rest, listen to what Jesus says. Come to me, Matthew 11:28. All of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. God bless you. See you on Monday.